New year, new indie games to get excited about. These are 8 of my most anticipated games releasing in 2026. Quick side note, all of these titles either have a release date or quarter, which means most of them should be releasing in the first half of the year, since developers usually don't set anything in stone until a few months out. So that means we may have to make a part 2 in the summer once we know more about how the rest of the year is looking. In order of release, coming up very soon on January 29th is the palm-sweating, edge-of-your-seat survival climbing game Cairn, coming to PC and PS5. A lot of you have probably already played the demo by this point and quickly figured out that this game takes climbing seriously. It will batter you around with no remorse, but luckily our protagonist, Ava, is tough as nails. The infamous Mount Kami has never been summited before, for good reason. To climb it requires preparation, determination, and improvisation. There are no routes laid out for you, so you'll have to study each rock face and bring the right gear and provisions along with you to make it to the top. I'm sure you'll all be hearing more from at least one of us here on NoClip2 around launch because we're all pretty excited for this one. And maybe Cairn will finally push me back into climbing, something I haven't done in a few years now and miss a whole bunch. Although I never did get to the point where I could scale an entire mountain. If extreme sports aren't your thing, January 29th also brings us another great and weird one. Berry Berry Berry. Also with a demo on Steam, this one isn't a mascot horror game, as its bright and cheery exterior may suggest. It sits at this very intriguing intersection of incremental berry collecting game and surreal, something's not quite right mystery. Think Katamari meets Grun. Honestly, I would just recommend jumping straight into the demo if that sounds interesting, that way you can get a better sense of the game's mood. But the gameplay is simple: toss fruit into the hole, get money, go to bed when the lights switch off, grow the hole, collect upgrades, get more fruit, and repeat. After spending a few days doing that, you'll start to notice little quirks, let's say, and once you get to the computer elevator part, you'll be completely and totally hooked, trust me. And January is off to an interesting start. YAPYAP, which is set to come out on February 3rd on Steam, has a demo also and is pretty interesting. It's described as a magic-themed co-op horror game where you can play with up to 5 other people and cause lots of magic shenanigans. Personally, I don't really play games with other people, but this one just looks too good to pass up. Try to fulfill your vandalism target with an assortment of spells, sounds right up my alley, and coupled with the surprisingly endearing character designs, the mix of comedy and horror, and the wizard theme that takes me back to my childhood, I think this game is gonna win a lot of people over. While we're on the subject, Secret Agent Wizard Boy and the International Crime Syndicate is another similar game about magical shenanigans that can be played in both single player and co-op. I played a bit of it in early access last year and it's quite the ride. Then on the 13th, right in time for Valentine's Day, we have the newest game from Tarsier Studios, the original creators of Little Nightmares 1 and 2. REANIMAL is launching on all platforms, and you can play the very spooky demo on all of them too. While the game isn't set in the same universe as their first series, it does share a lot of similarities with Little Nightmares, a twisted dreamlike world filled with unimaginable horrors where you play as a lost kid trying to save their friends. The demo already has an intense atmosphere, a nail-biting chase sequence, and I can't wait to see what other sorts of messed up creatures Tarsier Studios was able to come up with. Most of you probably already knew this one was on the horizon, and if you still happen to be on the fence, there's a reason the Little Nightmares games were so popular. Some of the creepiest games I've ever played. Oh, and the whole thing can also be played in co-op. The following month will bring us Rhell, Warped Worlds, and Troubled Times, another weird magic game. Apparently, I like those. The demo on Steam is wacky and full of these fun moments of discovery as you play around with the game's spell system. Again, sometimes the official copy sums it up best. What if every puzzle had multiple solutions and half of them were things you invented? Basically, the game has a bunch of runes for you to collect and combine to create new spells. Everyone in the world, except for 12 people for some reason, has disappeared, so you've got to put your spellcasting to the test. Clone yourself, bring inanimate objects to life, shrink, fly, throw fireballs, whatever it takes to get answers and explore this very colorful semi-open world. Alright, now we're on to the games without concrete dates. In Q1, we'll finally be able to play Dewdrop Dynasty on Steam, a Metroidvania where you play as a little bee in a pixelated world. I've been watching the devlog series by Goodgis here on YouTube for a few years now, and it's been amazing to see this thing progress from an upcoming Kickstarter project to an almost ready-to-ship video game. I'm the kind of person that loves the idea of a Metroidvania, the exploration and interconnected worlds and secrets, but in reality, only a few have really stuck with me. This looks like one of those special ones, and learning about the game's enemies and boss fights and level design slowly over the years has kept it in the back of my mind as one to watch out for. I've also got a soft spot for pixel art, so that helps too. The most recent demo I played, also on Steam, was for Forbidden Solitaire, releasing in Q1. As you can see, it has this amazing FMV intro and cutscenes, and it's this dark, grimy dungeon crawler with Solitaire used as your tool for combat and exploration. If you were a lonely child, you're gonna love this one. In this version of the card game, you have to clear the board by playing cards that are either one higher or one lower than your current card. You can shuffle the deck or the board and pick up some power-ups along the way to speed it up. There are also these jewels that you can embed into your hand to give you permanent upgrades. What can I say? Another weird one that's right up my alley and well worth at least a wishlist. And the last game, which is also slated for Q1, is Gecko Gods, and this one's coming to PC as well as Switch 2 and PS5. It's a little lizard platformer about solving puzzles and sailing across the 7 seas to uncover ancient mysteries. You can climb anywhere in this one, upside down even, and there's no stamina meter to hold you back. As I played through the demo during one of Steam's Next Fest events, I quickly fell in love with its slow pace and how the game doesn't put any pressure on you to complete any of its goals in a certain time. Just waddle your little lizard butt around for a while if you'd like and take in the beauty of these peaceful islands. And that'll do it for me today. Of course, there are a lot more great games coming out this year, but I'm just not quite sure what they are or when exactly they'll arrive. So once all those games marked with the very non-specific 2026 release window get a little more precise, I'll be sure to update you all with another round of fantastic indie games.